going down, and also it says the blood pH of 7.2 indicates acidic, meaning the blood is slightly more acidic than the normal range of 7.35 to 7.45. So the normal range of blood is 7.35 to 7.5, while 2.2 is not as severe as a pH below 0.7. That is the level of pH. Kuna 7.2, kuna 7.0. So when the blood pH reduces up to 7.0, this can be fatal. It says it's still outside the health range. Individual with the pH 0.7 may experience symptoms like, so the symptoms of someone who is suffering from anemia, whose blood level is 7.0 or 7.2. So these symptoms, whenever you feel that you have them, maybe someone who has this symptom might be suffering from pH of 7.2, 7.0. So also we need to go for the medical checkup. Don't feel that until you get sick is when you go for your medical checkup. You need to go and see hali yako ya maisha, ujue damu yako iko. There's other people maybe hawajui hata blood group yao. So when you go for medical checkup, when you do the checking, itakuelezea jinsi ambavyo mwili yako iko na afya yako itakuwa. So someone who is acidic or who is suffering from anemia, you will feel that you have headache, there is headache, confusion. You can get confused. Unaangalia tu mtu anaona huyu mtu naye amechanganyikiwa, huyu mtu hayuko sawa. Ukiangalia mtu kama huyu utajua sometimes anakuwa tired, much tiredness or lethargy. Inasema may experience headache, confusion and tiredness. If pH of 7.2 is detected, it's a crucial consult. You are advised to consult the doctor. So I can say, when my sister told me that pH level of blood was 7.2, then I was just like, I was very worried. So when I went to check on the details on how this disease can be treated, or what medical treatment can be taken towards this medicine, towards this disease, then I went to study this and I found that it's a disease that can be treated. But how can you treat this disease? When you maintain balanced diet, when you eat well, most of when you find that you are affected with this disease, you need to take some greenish vegetables, most riching in calcium and iron. And at the same time, when you are taking the vegetables that are very rich in iron and calcium, you need not to take them at the same time. You need not to take them at the same time. So we have some fruits like in Naivasha. The red fruit that people always take in Naivasha. Haya kuongeza damu. Beetroot. Most people take beetroot. You take watermelon. Most of tomatoes also you need to take when you find that they are affected with that disease. So when we are looking at anemia, we have things that are called the aerobic metabolism. So this one you are told, when tissues don't receive enough oxygen under aerobic metabolism. So this is the blood. There are tissues that carries the blood within the body. So we are told that when tissues doesn't receive enough oxygen, by switch to an aerobic metabolism to produce energy. So when the tissues receive this, they produce energy. This process generate lactic acid. I know lactic acid is within the body, which can accumulate and lower the blood pH. So when we eat these foods that we are told not to eat, like meat, they are going to cause acidosis and aerobic metabolism. So this one reduces the oxygen in the tissues. So when the oxygen is reduced in the tissues, this process generates lactic acid, and lactic acid reduces the accumulation and lower the blood pH. Sasa unapata mtu blood level yake hiyo 7.0 or 7.2, ndio inaweza kuwa photo leo. Utakuwa unaona hizo signs, mtu anakuwa confused, akotoa hapo, is very tired, ana feel heavy, tu venye usikii uchungu, lakini mwili yako hauna nguvu. Inatuambia kwamba metabolism acidic, the accumulation of lactic acid and other acid due to reduced oxygen can lead to metabolic acidosis, a condition whereby blood pH is lower than the normal range. So when metabolic acidosis are reduced in the blood, where less oxygen is carried within the tissues, then it causes the normal blood range to reduce from 7.35 to 7.45. Then we have something called severity of anemia. Nasema, the severity of the pH imbalance depends on the degree of anemia and how long it persists. So, kulingana maybe umekuwa affected na hiyo ugonjwa, if you don't treat it or if you don't handle it mapema, itakuwa severe. Yani hali yako inazidi kuwa mbaya. So inasema severe or chronic anemia can lead to more significant of pH imbalances, of which inaweza reduce mpaka 6.5, inakuwa chini sana, na hiyo condition ya mtu kama huyo inakuwa very worse. Tunaambiwa other factors concerning anemia. While anemia itself can contribute to pH imbalances, other factors like kidney diseases, heart failure, and a certain metabolic disorder can also be play as a role. So anemia pia inaweza reduce the pH of the blood. Na hapo sasa itakuwa severe, unapata mtu ana suffer from heart failure, ina contribute. So mwenye ana suffer from anemia, it's very easy for him to get these diseases like heart disease, kidney problem, this one. So we need to refrain from these foods that tunaambiwa kwamba are much acidic, and we turn back to these foods that we are told that can reduce the anemia. So we find that when you do a lot of exercise, the exercise boosts the immune system of the body and make the blood to run very smooth and to increase the level of oxygen in the blood. So that one reduces the rate whereby reduces the acidity in the body. Because when you do exercise, you sweat, and when you sweat, you release excess material from the body, maybe from sweat, maybe from urine. So exercises play a better role in treating these diseases. So before we proceed for the next 5 minutes, kwa kama mtu akona swali tunaweza uliza, ama kama mtu anaweza ongeza kitu fulani kuhusu hiyo ugonjwa. Maana hiyo ugonjwa mostly inapatikana kwa wanawake na watoto. So maybe your sister, like my sister, has been suffering from this disease, someone you know. So what you love to advise this kind of person to refrain from eating this processed food and also meat as well, because this food are so acidic and they cause the acidosis that increase the lactic acid in the body, and when the lactic acid is in the body, it reduces the tissues whereby oxygen is carried in the blood, because these tissues help the oxygen to flow in the blood or to go through the blood. But when the hemoglobin cannot sustain this, then the normal range of blood pH will be reduced, and this can cause some health issues within the individual. Hadi hapo kama kuna mtu akona swali anaweza uliza, because we were just to take something like 20 minutes, and that is what I wanted us to know about this anemia. Anemia, the signs of this anemia, and what causes this anemia, and also what can we do to treat this kind of disease. And we find that when we eat these foods that are much acidic, it can easily help in causing this, to reduce the blood normal range of pH to 7.0 to 7.02. So when the blood is at that level, then the condition of that person is at risk, and he needs to seek medical attention if he cannot sustain himself by taking vegetables and fruits. But that is the only way that you can help to recover from such illness. We dwell muchly in green vegetables and fruits that can boost the immune system or the immune system of the body. Unatuongeza? Yes. Sijakupata vizuri.
Umesema in aerobic, hiyo process ya aerobic it can cause disease, and it's anemia or some effects. Na kama itakuwa in aerobic or more addition of oxygen, it can cause any disease.
When there is oxygen in the body, when there is more oxygen in the body, it cannot cause the disease. We say that aerobic metabolism is a process whereby is when tissues doesn't receive oxygen. So when this tissue doesn't receive oxygen, they switch to aerobic metabolism to produce energy. This process generates lactic acid. You know, when the process goes, it generates lactic acid, which can accumulate and to lower the blood pH. So when the blood pH is lowered, it can cause anemia because there is no oxygen and the red hemoglobin of the body will not function well. So this is going to cause anemia because it will not allow oxygen that will support the carrying of the blood in the body. So this acidic, that's why I may say lactic acid, it's caused by that process. It will not cause when there is oxygen in the body. It only causes when the tissue doesn't receive oxygen. Yeah. And also you can find most of the time maybe in women, when they suffer from this disease, maybe with knowing or not knowing, you find during their periods, maybe they cannot estimate when is my day or what. Wanashtukia tu. Sometimes the hormone imbalance, maybe when you find yourself, you don't know yourself. When you are a woman, you don't know yourself. You don't know when is your days. Maybe they can take long, they can reduce, then you are just there. So also when you feel that, when you experience such things, you need to go for medication. You check and see where there is a problem. Because maybe you can be suffering from such illness. Also you can find that during this period, maybe when you're in your period, if you are a woman, you prolong it. Your days are not normal. You just go long and you move more blood. So also that affect. Also that will be the sign of such diseases like anemia. Unaongeza yes. Is that treated disease? Yeah, it can be inherited. Anemia can pass from maybe from another person, from a generation maybe. Maybe you might not know, but you can find that maybe your mother, because it's a blood disease, so you can inherit this disease. But only when you maintain it, it cannot affect you. You know, there are some diseases that are inherited. It moves from one generation to another, depending with the gene of the body. So you can inherit it, or you can also just get affected when you mostly depend on this acidic food. Okay, in summary, what I would like to adjust is that whenever we are taught about reforming from eating like pigs, we should eat well as Christians. You know, it's that kind of a creature that eats everything that comes its way. Aone hii anataka kukula, aone hii. So you don't find yourself resting. Tulifundishwa kwa makambi, ukiona hiki chakula umekula, hata kama ni mwili yako inafaa kufanya kazi ya kutaka hii chakula, haitafanya. Mimi mtoto wako umenituma kwa duka, nimerudi tena unataka kunituma pale, nirudi unataka kunituma pale. Itafika pale niseme nimechoka, acha nikae hapa. Sasa siwezi enda. So the more you eat like pigs, mwili yako haitafanya kazi vizuri. Hata digestion system yako haitapata nafasi ya kufanya. Sometimes kama ndio unaona tukiwa wadogo, unachukua maembe ikiwa ndogo unameza. Aisia kenda kwa choo unapata kama umeitoa tu. That's why we are calling ourselves. If we are reforming, we reform. If it is hard, pray your mind so that you can avoid such foods that can cause, that can make your condition ya afya iwe mbaya. Tukule tu inakupunguzia pain kwa dakika Hezekia. Hezekia hivyo, tunaambiwa hivyo. Akina Danieli pia walisema sisi tutakula tu mboga hivyo na afya yao itakuwa poa. Jaribu refrain from this processed food. Hizi chakula tamu yenye unaona, hizi chakula vya Babylon, utaona kama afya yako inakuwa nzuri. Ndio tunaambiwa kwamba ukiangalia wale wanyama ambao wanakula nyasi na wale wanyama ambao wanakula nyama, their life span ni very tofauti. Wale ambao wanakula nyasi maisha yao inakuwa long compared to this one like lion, because kuna hiyo kitu inaitwa food chain. Huyu anakula hiyo, huyu anakula hiyo, mpaka wale ambao wanakula zile ambazo zimeisha. Ndio maana unapata inzi kuna siku, tunasema ni siku 6 siku 3, yeye anakula kila kitu. Unaona nguruwe wako wanono, lakini mwili yao imejaa na ugonjwa. Tusikule kama wanguruwe, tukule kama binadamu ambao wanajua neno la Mungu na ambao wanataka maisha yao iwe vizuri na wazidi kupeleka injili. Ningependa nimalizie hapo, kama kuna mtu atakuwa na jambo la kuongezea kama maswali. Wengi wameuliza swali na tumepata kusikia. So kwanza hivyo ningependa tumalize hapo na tujifunze tu kile ambacho nilikuwa naimiza, tuangalie jinsi ambavyo tunakula. Manake vile tunavyokula inatuaffect. Maisha yako ni kulingana na vile unakula. So usiharibu afya yako kwa sababu ya ulaji. Tunza afya yako. Tunaambiwa kwamba ukiwa utakula dawa kama chakula, ukiwa utakula dawa utakuwa dawa kama chakula, itabidi ufanye nini? Kule chakula kama kama dawa. Hiyo inamaanisha nini? Ikiwa utaogopa kutumia dawa, then utakuwa nafasi, utakuwa unakula dawa kama chakula. Yaani kila siku, amke asubuhi dawa. Na timetable ya kuangalia ya kumeza dawa hauwezi sahau. Unajua daktari alikwambia ni saa 3, saa 6 na saa 7. 3, yaani mara 3 kwa siku. Hiyo sheria utakuwa umetunza. Manake uliamua kukula chakula kama nini? Mungu awabariki. Ningependa tuombe. Baba, tunasema ni asante kwa kuwa umetufundisha afya, tunaomba upate kutuongoza ili tusije tukakula kutokana na jinsi ambavyo tunajipenda wenyewe. Tufundishe kukula kulingana na mapenzi yako ili tutunze afya yetu, tuweze kupeleka ujumbe wako kote ulimwenguni. Tunasema ni asante kwa siku ya leo. Walimu wanapokuja hapa na Bible study ama na prophecy, tupata kumtia nguvu pia na kumuongoza. Tuongoze kwa hii sabato tutakapofunga sote salama, tutasema ni asante. Ni katika Kristo tunaomba na kuamini. Amen. Tuangalie, tulibaki na program 2. Kuna ile pesa ya transportation au watu na changa.